A teen driver responsible for killing 2 people in a crash will get no jail time. The incident happened in September of 2023 in Commerce City. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Tom Green. The driver did plead guilty to vehicular homicide DUI and was sentenced earlier this month. But family members tell our Jaleesa Irizarry that the punishment is simply not enough.
Some people don't need a reason to celebrate. That includes Vanessa Rios.
Yeah, the tree upside down.
And her family.
That's a whole other conversation.
Dawn Hernandez is Vanessa's wife. While their home is filled with love, days like today feel a bit empty.
Yes.
Without Vanessa's godmother,
She was
Monica Rios.
she was the life of the party. She was the one to smash our face in the cakes. He took something good from us that we'll never get back.
In September 2023, Monica and another woman were killed in a crash on Highway 2 near 72nd Avenue in Commerce City. The driver of the other car, who police say was responsible for the crash, was 17 years old. They believe he was speeding. Earlier this month, he pleaded guilty to vehicular homicide DUI. He was sentenced to probation. News that doesn't sit well with much of Monica's family, including her niece, Alyssa Rios.
Accountability. We have to hold these teenagers, accountable for their actions. It's frustrating.
And I'm not okay with it. I'm angry, honestly.
They need to give a punishment that fits the crime, regardless of age. 2 people's lives were taken. There's no reason why he should have did no jail time to sit down and think about what he did.
But what he did is already done. Monica isn't coming back.
And that's the sad part.
I really do miss her. I miss our conversations.
Vanessa will never get to celebrate another holiday with her godmother. She'll carry that reality with her in the birthdays and big moments to come.
The law let us down. Like, there's no justice that was ever served and will never be served.
Monica's family hopes that the juvenile system considers harsher penalties for crimes in which someone is killed. They encourage parents to educate their kids on driving safely. Jaleesa Irizarry, 9 News.
Well, they miss Monica. They said to you that they thought Monica might view this somewhat differently than even they do.
Yeah, exactly. I asked everyone in the family if they have forgiven this driver at all, and it's kind of a mixed bag. Some do, some don't, but they believe Monica would have forgiven him and probably wanted to help him as well.
All right. Thanks, Jaleesa. New at 4 o'clock, Aurora police say that 2 people are in custody after a shooting turned into a chase, ending with a crash. The collision shut down westbound Pena at Green Valley Ranch while officers had to investigate. And here's what we know at this point. Aurora PD saying it started with a shooting between cars near 11th and Jamaica east of Havana. Well, officers then started to chase one of the cars involved. That ended in the crash near the intersection of Pena Boulevard and Green Valley Ranch. Police say they arrested the driver and the passenger inside, and both had outstanding warrants. As for the other car hit in the crash, the driver was taken to the hospital for treatment. Still no word yet as to their condition.
Another 50-degree day across the metro area. Really nice out there again. 3 in a row, and then a storm comes in. And that could mess with our drive to work or school tomorrow. So we want to get right to Kathy to find out when it comes and why. You don't know why. It's just happening.
Because it's January in Colorado.
Yeah, but
there's that.
it sounds like you're thinking that many people should opt out of work or school tomorrow. Just take the day off, call it a day.
I'm good.
Take it easy.
Always, right? I mean, we're just days from the weekend. You need to kind of plan for your weekend, of course. Yeah, if you can take the day, take it. I would. I'm not positive we're going to see snow in downtown Denver, but we're right on the edge. And so we want you to be prepared, especially those of you over the South Metro and eastern sides of Denver, to be prepared for overnight snow that could impact your drive in the morning. I know it's hard to believe. As Kim mentioned, sunny with temperatures in the 40s and 50s. The last few days, a lot of melting. We're not really ready for another round of cold and snow, but 2 pieces of good news here. Fast moving storm, not a cold storm. So temperatures are still really comfortable in the 40s right now. Watching as those winds are shifting a little bit. It's an area of low pressure spinning over the Four Corners area. It's tracking east into northern New Mexico. As the storm near southern Colorado, the counterclockwise flow will increase the snow coverage in the southern mountains, going under a winter weather advisory here in a few hours. That winter weather advisory then will be extended up to areas south, like the Palmer Divide and Castle Rock, south of Denver, and then to the north and east. And the reason being, we are expecting that we're going to see some of these bands moving into or close to the metro area from the southeast back toward the west and northwest. Again, we're right on the edge. The models are not in agreement, but there is a chance that you will have snow tomorrow morning, and we want you to be ready. And so temperatures in the 40s now are dropping into the 30s. Weather headlines include a weather impact day for tomorrow morning's drive, especially for those of you coming in from the south or east. That warm, dry temperature trend we've been enjoying, it returns in a big fat hurry, and I've got 60s in the extended forecast. I'm going to detail all of it coming up.
In a major change of direction today, President Trump now backing off his attempt to put a widespread freeze on federal loans and grants. When announced yesterday, of course, that order caused a lot of chaos nationwide in a myriad of ways. A judge temporarily blocked implementation of that order yesterday. Well, then today, White House Press Secretary Kellen Leavitt said the order was rescinded, but insisted the president's executive order reviewing the use of federal funds remains in full force. Also, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made it official that he will be meeting with President Trump at the White House next week. Trump has invited Netanyahu to Washington next Tuesday. The visit comes very early into President Trump's second term following the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. Netanyahu was last at the White House in July when he met with President Joe Biden and also addressed lawmakers at a joint session on Capitol Hill.
Say that, Mr. Kennedy?
Senator, I believe that every abortion is a tragedy.
Did you say it, Mr. Kennedy? This
believe
matters. It doesn't matter what you come here and say that isn't true, that's not reflective of what you really believe, that you haven't said over decade after decade after decade. Because unlike other jobs,
Colorado Senator Michael Bennet grilling Robert F. Kennedy Jr. today. He faced some tough questions in his confirmation hearing to head Health and Human Services. The day was filled with a lot of tense testimony, angry exchanges, and protests.
NBC's Vaughn Hilliard was there. He has more on this first step in RFK's confirmation hearings.
From the beginning, demonstrators making themselves heard as Robert Kennedy Jr. tried to quell fears over his past opposition to some vaccines, including the COVID vaccines.
News reports have claimed that I'm anti-vaccine or anti-industry. I am neither. I am pro-safety.
Clashing with Democrats over previous statements.
I support the measles vaccine. I support the polio vaccine. I will do nothing as HHS secretary that makes it difficult or discourages people from taking it.
Look at the measles book you wrote saying parents have been misled into believing that measles is a deadly disease.
did you say Lyme disease is a highly likely militarily engineered bioweapon?
I probably did say that.
When was it that you decided to sell out the values you've had your whole life in order to be given power by President Trump?
Kennedy, who ran for president as a Democrat and an independent, lashing out at his former party.
They used to be my friends. Now they're against me because anything that President Trump does, any decision he makes, has to be lampooned, derided, discredited, marginalized, vilified.
I truly appreciate what you're doing here.
Finding common ground with some on a push for healthier foods. And after being supportive of reproductive rights as recent as 2023, Kennedy assuring Republicans he's now opposed to abortion access in most cases.
And he wants to protect conscious exemptions and that he wants to end federal funding for abortions here or abroad. That's Title 10. I serve at the pleasure of the president. I'm going to implement his policies.
Thank you for that.
Now, Kennedy faces a second hearing Thursday, and Republicans control the Senate by 3 votes. And while Kennedy is one of the most controversial picks, no Republican senator, at least yet, has said that they will vote against him. In Washington, Vaughn Hilliard, NBC News.